it is now July 2nd, which means we start our July vlog. My house is currently sitting at a pretty 82. It is 89 outside. It's set to be at 72. So that's fun. But we made a Walmart run today because the kids I needed to get a new air filter. The kids had grilled cheese and applesauce, and so I started really craving grilled cheese covered in applesauce. That's not I want a center pole. And then we got some chenille yarn for a pattern that we're gonna do that I've been commissioned to make. Unfortunately, this is not printed in color because I printed from my parents' house, and it is a very funky one. We're gonna start on this. Oh, I should probably, okay, I'm gonna make a order for safety eyes and the other color of yarn first.
It is now July 3rd. I didn't get any crochet done yesterday simply because right after I finished filming the intro, my partner asked to game. And then after that, I ended up watching movies with my sister. So now we're going to try to start working on it. The pattern calls for a 4mm crochet hook, but somehow I don't have one of those. So we're going with a 4.5. Partially also because the yarn I have says it's a weight 6 and the pattern calls for a weight 5. So, compromise. We'll see how it goes as we do the head. Unfortunately, the safety eyes, I ordered some bigger ones and some that have color, and those will not get here. Some of them are supposed to get here tomorrow. Some of them won't get here till Sunday. So I don't know how much of this plushie we're going to be able to do today, but we will see. We're going to try to get the yarn out of the living room. Hi, Marshmallow. And I just went into my craft room a couple minutes ago and consolidated my acrylic yarn and like put the red and pink together, the orange and yellow. The purple and brown have always been together. And then I moved the rest of the colors down so that we have these 3 empty. I'm gonna first put the velvet yarn in and see if that can fit into one box. I don't know. And then we're gonna try to figure out if we wanna try to put the cotton in or the mini chenille. So we'll see. Alright, so we managed to fit in the blanket yarn, and then this is one of the skeins of the chenille yarn I have bought for making a plushie commission. There's gray chenille yarn on the way, so I'll probably put that in the same space. And then we have our velvet yarn taking up a whole thing. So unfortunately, I was not able to put those in one. And then our mini chenille yarn takes up like practically, there's space for maybe like 12 more of these mini ones, and that's it. However, this does not include the Caron cloud cakes that I have, but that was bought for a specific project that it's a personal project, so it got put to the wayside with the gifts and commissions. And that does not include all of our whip skeins right now or any of our cotton. So, as I'm looking at this, I really need to just try to use all of this up and reduce how much space this is taking. Well, it is July 6th. I'm going to check in, and we have been working on a commission lately. We have got the head done yesterday and got the eyes in. They are so cute. And then we have the ears done, so they'll get attached like right about here ish. That's way too far ahead. And we started on the arms, which are going to be a little long. But my goal is that I don't have rehearsal tonight. Now we can crochet for the rest of the night, I think. Taking advantage of no rehearsal, let's try to get this creature as far done as we can. Hi, so I'm realizing I did not record yesterday. It is now June 8th, not June 8th, it is July 8th, and I finished this guy last night. However, I can't make the cloak and scarf yet because when that gray yarn came in, it came in as like a much lighter weight. So we're gonna go to Michael's this weekend because I do not support Hobby Lobby, and Michael's and Walmart are the two other options for yarn in my area. In person at least. And we're gonna go look for yarn for this. Well, while I was at rehearsal, I got tired of the little pouches. They're very repetitive. And I wanted a new project for at rehearsal, so we're making these granny squares to be able to make into a cardigan. So far, I already have, from one rehearsal, I have these two done. This one's a little funky. I think this was the first one I did, maybe. I thought I had 3. Maybe. Guess not. I got these 2. Can very clearly tell which one was the second one, but hopefully once I block it, it should be fine. I really do like this one. Considering we were able to make 2 squares in one night, I think I could get enough for the cardigan done before like the end of the show. And then all I would have to do is sew them together and do the border. So I am excited for the hat. I'll have one cardigan done. And then a week after the show finishes, my summer school finishes. So maybe we'll do a Frogger finish video. Because I have a lot of I have a whole like bin of whips. Hi, so it is now the end of the school day. And I am exhausted. I didn't get much sleep last night since I had a production meeting after rehearsal. Hi, so it is now July 10th. I haven't really had much time to film the past couple days it's been pretty hot out. I had summer school and then I got home and I'd usually be exhausted and then I had to go to rehearsal. Tech week starts on Sunday, and since it's Friday today, I started off the morning with my parents coming over and my mom trying to help me organize my office and my dad taking a look at my air conditioning since that has been broken all summer so far, which has been great with these 90-degree Fahrenheit days. But we think we know what's wrong with it and we are getting it replaced. That part is getting replaced. I'm thankful. Oh, if this works, it'll only have cost me $16 to fix my AC. Not bad. But my parents have Prime, so they shipped it to their house and the part is gonna arrive tomorrow. My dad will come over after rehearsal on Sunday and fix it. So hopefully we can be more productive. For now, I'm kind of burnt out from the repetitive projects. So as a result, I needed something to take a break. The bunny was a nice break. Or that's not even a bunny, whatever that creature is. the creature was a nice break. However, I don't think I'm ready to go back to doing scrunchies in the baskets yet. If you have any like small project recommendations, plop them in the comments below, please. For now, my sister asked for Granny Square fruit themed pants for her birthday, as well as that top. Unfortunately, I had to break it to her that there was no way I was getting those pants done. And that maybe she can look forward to it for Christmas, but which is nice because those granny squares can be a nice break. This is the first granny square I am making for that project now. Right, Graham?
As you guys may know, this is my stitch mark.
We are back with the finished granny square. I honestly, in the past with patterns I've used, it's always had like you do the double, or not the double, you do the 2 chain or chain 2 and then you continue. I honestly really like this method. No, it's a lot less big gaps. Might have to keep that in mind when I was at the beginning of the year I started making granny squares for a book bag. So each granny square is like themed on a different book that I read this year. I started out making them with acrylic yarn. I hadn't bought any cotton yarn at that point. So like it was acrylic yarn and it had the granny square style with the holes in it. And I'm like looking back and there, for some reason, even though I'm pretty sure I used all the same size for them, all the size hook, a lot of them like are smaller, like they're different sizes and stuff like that. So I'm probably gonna scrap that yarn and remake all of them in just like towards the end of the year in cotton yarn so that it's not going to be as stretchy, because cotton is recommended for bags so that they don't stretch. And then I can also use the type of granny square that doesn't have those big holes, because I am not a person who lines my stuff. Like lining the top for my sister was an exception, not the rule. But we got one down for the pants, and that's it. While we're here though, I still have like another hour till I need to start getting ready for tonight. But while we're here, we're pulling my rehearsal bag over and taking the yarn out that I use. Oh, there's a granny square attached to that. And we are going to check on how many granny squares we have done this week, just to give you a general idea. However, I would get less done on nights that we have costumes, just because I spend time getting changed and that stuff. So this next week is going to be, it's tech rehearsals and then the performances. So I probably won't have as much time for granny squares. There will probably be less. Maybe. I also had, this next week I'm gonna be there from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be there for 8 days. This last week, I was only there for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that was it. Granted, only one of those was costumes, and Thursday was a shorter rehearsal. So keeping that in mind, and keeping in mind, my first granny squares of this style is not included in this, just because I did mess it up and I'm not dealing with that. But here is 1, 2, they will need to be blocked and then they'll all be the same size. 3 and 4. I'm gonna go put them elsewhere so that they're not taking up space in my bag. But we got 4 done. Quite a few more to go. These are in acrylic because they'll be for a cardigan. So This, a little stretch would be nice, and acrylic, it tends to be on the warmer side. That is the whole point of why I want the cardigan. But yeah, here it is.
Sticky note that says Hobie, like spandex or something like that. But yeah, I want to make little studs here. That's fun.
It is now, ooh, that doesn't show it. It is now Monday, July 13th. Tech Week has started as of yesterday. I'm sorry, I don't think I got to videotape anything yesterday, but my AC is fixed, so hopefully I should be a lot more productive. Fingers crossed. For now, I am actually trying to make reusable cotton rounds, especially with everything going on with the show. I go through a lot of like disposable ones, and I don't like that. Of course I'm gonna use up my disposable ones. I'm not just gonna throw them away and waste them, but I'm gonna make some fresh ones that I can start I'm gonna make a bunch of reusable ones, at least, like, because it takes several rounds to get the makeup off, and I don't want to be doing laundry just for the rounds. So we're gonna work on making quite a few of them just for myself for now, and it'll be great. It'll be so nice. With it being Tech Week, that means there's only 2 weeks of summer school. I do not yet have a job for next year, so our August will be working on this stuff, which means I can also do a larger variety of videos in a shorter span of time. Like currently I have a lot of whips. Ooh, here's one right here. It's a knitting whip, but you get the point. So maybe we'll do a Frogger finish video as well, but we shall see. Hello, it is now July 17th, which means it's a Friday, no work. However, last night was opening night of our show, so I didn't get to crochet at all yesterday. Ooh, and I just undid that stitch. And today I'm literally just, I crocheted a little bit. I haven't been very productive in that department. However, I deleted over 1,000 items out of my photo library today, which included a lot of old videos, and I don't know why I was saving so much of this stuff. It was kind of ridiculous. But now I have about like 30 gigabytes of storage free on my phone. Between that and deleting some unnecessary app stuff, which is amazing. I'm so excited. And that which should make making these vlogs a lot easier. And especially once we I have one more week of summer school. I also have an interview next week, and that should help a lot. Oh, where did the label go on that one? Oh well. But I want to try in August doing like how much yarn do I use in a month, and trying to do some stash busting, get rid of yarn, and we'll see how that goes though. For now, I want to get this project done soon. I hate longer projects, and I'm realizing that this is going to be one of them. However, if I focus, I'll actually get it done a lot sooner, and this morning has not been the morning for focusing. It is now July 19th, I believe. It's Sunday. We just finished wrapping up the show, announced next year's show, which I don't know how easy that is to tell, but it's Shrek the Musical, so I'm very excited. And last night I made little Shrek the Musical playbill earrings with Shrink-a-Dink paper. Not the best quality, but it works. But now that that's over, I'm stepping back and I only do marketing for the kids show. And I'm hoping to get as much of it like pre-prepped as I can, just so that I don't have to let it take over my life. But tomorrow I have an interview, and then, well, I work, then I have to get changed, go to an interview, come back home, get changed again, go to kickoff for our kids show, and then I'll come home and pass out, and then the next 3 days after that, I'll be working 8 hours in order to not work 6 hours that Friday to close up my classroom. And then that'll be the end of summer school. But we are back to working on the Belle shirt. And while we're here, I'm gonna go grab all the granny squares that I made in the process of this musical, because while I was at the show or at rehearsals, I was making these little sunflower granny squares that will eventually be made into a cardigan for me being a teacher. And I definitely did not make enough for the whole cardigan, but we'll see how many I did make. These are the little granny squares that I made, so we're gonna count through them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of them my tension's really tight. Geez. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I made 17. I don't know how many I need for the cardigan. I'm gonna take a break from these for now, and those will be something that for the kids show, I'll probably be front of house, and during the show I can bring my bag with this stuff in it and work on more of them, and we'll see how many we get done then. Yeah, after checking the pattern, I maybe have the 2 sleeves done, and that's it. We're not even halfway done. So we're definitely not gonna finish it during the downtime for the kids show, but still can get a decent amount done. It is now Tuesday, July 21st. I had my interview yesterday. I didn't really have any crochet that I did yesterday, just because I went from work to the interview to kick off for our kids show. Today I worked a little longer, and I'm gonna crochet a little bit before my sister moves her car and I go out and mow my lawn. And then after that, I'll crochet for a little bit longer, and then I will be gaming with my friends again. I am so excited. It is July 22nd. I worked about 9 hours today at work. It was mostly just packing and taking inventory, and then just finding small, insignificant tasks to do to fill up the last 2 hours. But my last day with that district will be tomorrow, and I'll be working a 7-hour day and then relaxing for like an hour or 2 at home before I game with my partner and then have a meeting. So hopefully we should have time to crochet then. However, for now I wanted to try to do a little stash busting, because I'm realizing how much I obnoxiously have in my collection. Where does this even... case in point, I have like 2 other full skeins of this brown because I bought way too much for the rose bouquet blanket. This is the smaller of these 2 cakes. And then I have multiples of these. Again, bought way too much for the cardigan because I looked it up and it was like, oh yes, you need this much yardage. No, I don't. But besides that point, we are going to try to make a basket. A triple stranded basket out of these 3 yarns because I want to try starting to stash bust a little. With the job offer I received, I would only work 2 days in August, which not great for wanting to get paid, but I'll survive. I knew that going into August. And that, did I say 2 days? 3 days in August. And that means that will be crochet time. It is now July 23rd and we had our last day of summer school. Classroom's all done. Whatever, the very few personal items I brought in for summer school are all packed up. I said bye to everybody. And yesterday got a job offer by the superintendent of that school district. It's only for like September, October, November, December, partway through December. So it's like not even 4 months, but it's better than nothing for the fall, especially with how many schools closed or removed positions this year. It's a really hard job market by me, right? At least this year, with all the referendums that did not pass. So we'll be a long-term sub for this year and hopefully get our own classroom next year. But for now, crocheting, and then also I'm going to go donate plasma starting tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. On most days I'm planning on trying to walk and crochet on my treadmill until I get working again consistently in September. But so you'll see some more clips of that just so I get some exercise in. I won't do that on days that I donate plasma though, just because you're not supposed to like exercise. Although maybe we'll see. We'll see how I adjust. But yeah. It is now July 24th. We're going to work a little bit more on this basket. My goal is that I want to get it to be about a foot across. And right now it is just over 9 inches across. 9.5. So I think we need a few more rows. I can only work so many rows at a time because my hands really cramp up with this. I'm trying to figure out how to do a different hold and see if that works, but we'll see. Otherwise, once we are done with that, then we will keep working on the top, the yellow top for the Broadway rave. And we're probably gonna run out of my yellow skein. So hopefully I'll remember after the plasma donation that I need to get more yellow and stop at Walmart on my way home. All right, we are back. It's like close to 6 o'clock now. Oh, it is 6 o'clock. And I've been putting off finishing this for, I don't know why. But now that we have the yarn, and it doesn't exactly match the purple, but it's really close. At least on camera, it's really close. In person, this is has a little more red tones than this, but either way. So it is now the end of the day. We did end up finishing this little guy. So I will probably take photos of him tomorrow when the lighting's better and finish the short form video that I was making to get more shorts. It is now July 27th. It is the first Monday off of working. So, and I'm like looking at this next week. This is the only day I don't have something in the evening. So we're gonna try to do the redo the scrunchie challenge today. I have the hair ties, and then I think I was using a 5mm, but we have this skein that I've already made one scrunchie out of. So I want to see how many scrunchies one of these will make. But we will get started on that. It is now Tuesday, July 28th, which means it's getting close to the end of the month. I'm realizing I don't have a lot of stuff that's finished just because I was so busy this month between work and the show. However, on Saturday when I was at my best friend's, I started making this little guy. It's supposed to be a golden snitch from Harry Potter, just because she named her cat Nimbus after that. So I'm trying to make a snitch from scratch. I think it's going pretty well, actually. But there's polyfill and then catnip in this. Marshmallow, you wanna be our authenticator that there's catnip in it? Yeah, there's catnip in it. Maybe I know, sweetheart. Do I need to make some catnip toys for you as well? Since I didn't have any of my crochet stuff, originally we were gonna make D&D dice potion bottles. The potion bottles I got didn't fit. Like the opening was too small for the dice. Okay, no, she's not gonna leave me alone. Yeah. So we ended up making a Michaels and Target run to get stuff so I could work on this, and as well as a card game to play, which is now on my board game and card game shelf, and some drinks. And we had a good night. I was not feeling great the next morning, but I did not end up finishing this because of the drinks. So we're gonna try to finish it now. Well, we finished the little snitch cat toy, and since someone wanted to steal it, I made her one of her own. A marshmallow for Marshmallow. Yeah, are you happy now? Okay, so I ended up switching over to the basket and realizing I had started with an 8-stitch circle. That's why it was ending up all floppy. So switched to a 6. From doing the little marshmallow for Marshmallow, I think that'll work out a lot better. But I'm gonna work on that and try to get this pile down a little bit until I have game night, double date game night. So we'll see how much of this pile disappears. So it is now July 29th. I did get the bodice done, including the lace up, so that'll be exciting. I just need to weave in ends. I weaved in like one end last night and stuck fabric glue on it just to keep it secure. but I also started on the, I don't know what even to call it, the sleeve, the wraparound. I'm doing a, I don't know, a standing chain, I'm guessing, I think it's called. I don't remember off the top of my head. Just so that it's a more accurate representation of the length, because I know when I do like the regular chain, it just never is the length that it is thought to be. So that's how we're starting this. I think it'll go at least, let's see, how many is 5 rows? Oh, that's too small. So if I double that, 10 rows might be a good amount, but we will see. That's something that I can like keep changing as I go on, thankfully. But until then, I am also working on, I have these wooden boxes that look like books that I'm trying to put my games in, and I'm working on painting the first one. Right now I just have white for the primer, and then I will start moving on to the others. Apologies for the lighting on this one. It's late. I don't even know how late because I don't have my watch on me. But we ended up wanting to get rid of some yarn barf that we could. I had frogged this, at least the off-white part, so that was sitting as yarn barf in my basket of cotton yarns. So we ended up we got all of this part redone. We're working on the handles. Unfortunately, it's like one loop off of being even, so this isn't gonna be one I'm gonna like actually sell to people. Like this one won't be an option for Etsy, but maybe I'll give this away to a friend or something. But we also did have some yarn barf from the red. That's been gotten rid of. I think that's it for the yarn barf we have gotten rid of. I haven't finished the first strap yet. I want to do like 2 more rows on the first strap and then I'll do the second one. That's a project for tomorrow. And then we'll have a whip finally done. This thing's been like in progress for 6 months at least.
How did I tack with the arrow?
It is July 31st, which means today is the last day to finish any crochet projects that are close to being finished. I'm trying to actually weave in the last end on this one before I post it on, or make the little video clip for everything. And then I will just work on projects that are not going to be finished today so that I can maybe post the short today already. For whatever reason, the final clip of this vlog will not upload into my video editing software. So I'm just gonna do this voiceover while you watch me weave in this end to say I hope you had a great July and I hope you have an amazing August. Don't forget to